Hey folks, Leave once again. Hope you enjoy my review of Watchmen Chapter 2. That's on my channel right now. Welcome back to another video, guys. Another review. Yeah, my name is Levi McNally. Welcome to my channel. I review movies and stuff. And if you love movie reviews, talking about movies, TV shows, or physical media type of stuff, or movies in general, then this is the channel for you. Remember, guys, the channel name is Levi McNally 983, with a mask profile picture on it. Do not subscribe to the one with the Batman Mask of Phantasm one on it. That's my other channel. So thank you guys for 349 subs. We're getting close to 400. We're getting there, but surely we'll get there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll get there soon. But anyway, guys, I've been doing what I call a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel, and I've been doing what I call the 2020s era superhero reviews. These superhero films that came out in the decades we're looking at now, starting the 2020s decades, starting with the year 2020 to 2025, the year we're living right now. And I'm on the last movie for the year 2024. This film came out in December. This stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, directed by G.C. Chander, and this one is based on a Spider-Man villain. This is the sixth film in the Sony Spider-Man universe, SSU, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. That is Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter. Yeah. Right away, I hated this film. This film was awful. This is one of the worst comic book superhero movies ever made. Doesn't matter. I don't care if it's rated R. Sony probably did that to play Sony. They keep screwing up. Thank goodness. I hope this is their last movie. This movie flopped terribly. Well, it was a box office bomb failure. It was a failure. When's the sequel going to happen? Never. And we didn't get a Sony movie this year. I doubt we're going to get one this year. I doubt they're making a movie right now because, again, outside of the Venom movies, which made money because Venom is a popular character, that's why that made money. And being titled Venom, that made loads of money. Then they made a sequel, you had Carnage, that made some money. Last movie made some money. But see, after Venom: The Last Let There Be Carnage, there was Morbius. They put that in theaters twice, and that film flopped. That movie sucked. Madam Web, was horrible. Let me think of the other movies. Was it Madam Web and then Kraven Hunter? Well, Madam Web came out February of last year on Valentine's Day, and that film flopped horribly. You know, both movies I think sucked. By the way, Kraven the Hunter flopped as well. Let's see. Make sure I'm right. Yeah, just six films. Yeah, yeah, and these films have not grossed much money. Yeah, but anyway, if you don't know who Kraven the Hunter is, he's a Spider-Man villain. I always like Kraven the Hunter though as a villain. Yeah, it's the character. Oh my god, looks like he's killing Venom too or something, hunting down Great. Yeah. He was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Steve Ditko. He first appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man 15 on 1964 as ever the superhero Spider-Man. Again, these movies don't work without Spider-Man. He is also one that you can up with other heroes such as Black Panther and Tigra. He is the half brother of the Chameleon. Okay, so I didn't know that. Who was one of the founding members of the Sinister Six? I didn't know that. But this movie, yes, his brother is Chameleon in here, but we don't really see that till the end of the movie. He calls Spider-Man the most dangerous game, a direct reference to the 1924 short game. Now, I've seen the character in the Spider-Man anime series, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game. I like what they did with Kraven the Hunter. Marvel Spider-Man 2, the sequel to the 2018 game, which is an amazing game, by the way. So was Marvel Spider-Man 2. That's a real good game as well. But you fight Kraven in that, Venom, spoiler alert, Venom kills him in that. I'd rather see him fight Venom. Yeah. He's a Russian immigrant, the son of a Nikolai, who fled the United States with his family in 1917. I never really cared about his history. He's a big game hunter who seeks to defeat Spider-Man to prove that he is the greatest hunter in the world. He prefers to take animals down with his bare hands. So Kraven, he's a hunter. Of course, that's his name, Kraven the Hunter. And with his look, he's got the jacket, the lion jacket. Yeah, you see that in the poster for this movie, but spoiler, there's going to be spoilers in this review, sorry. Freak out this movie. Yeah, not having an aneurysm, sorry. But spoilers in this movie. Spoilers in this review. You see it in yeah, you see the jacket that he's got on right here, right? And on the back with the jacket from the comic book. You don't get that in this movie at all. Not until the last shot of the movie. Sorry. He has this potion that made from various jungle herbs. Kraven grants himself superhuman physical abilities, making him a physical threat to Spider-Man. His powers are not as developed as those possessed by Spider-Man. His body is mostly durable and more resistant. It's like he's super strong. It makes him fast, smell like an animal. He has animal senses. He can withstand great impact of forces such as falling from several stories or being struck by a super strong opponent, or killing a human with little to no injury to himself. It also devices his aging, so Kraven can stay young. Kraven has a sight, hearing, and smell to superhuman levels. He's got really good sight as well. His eyes light up like yellow, kind of like a cheetah. Kraven uses his sense of smell to track a target by scent, much as some animals do, even if the scent has somewhat indoor by animal predators. Even without his superhuman powers, Kraven is athletic and gifted and hunter in hand-to-hand combat. And he's one of Spider-Man's greatest foes. He is a supervillain. This movie makes him out to be a hero, an anti-hero, which is why it doesn't work. You know, yeah. This movie was not needed. Why was this made? Why? I guess because I'm just guessing here, spitballing here. I guess Sony because it said, well, Madam Web didn't work Morpheus, even though Morpheus is an anti-hero. Yeah, more a different vampire. But that film flopped, so Madam Web completely was an embarrassment. We just thought we made a good movie about a fucking character that nobody gave a shit about, nobody freaking knew about. So Kraven the Hunter's popular. Let's make a Kraven the Hunter movie without Spider-Man involved, because we're Sony, we're stupid, and we don't know what the hell we're doing. And because Morpheus and Madam Web flop horribly, we just don't get the picture. So let's make another movie. Let's fuck up another character. Yay! Champagne for everybody. Yeah. So anyway, the writer of Sammy planned to include the character in his fourth Spider-Man film, which would have been so awesome. Yeah, was canceled in favor of the Amazing Spider-Man. But from what I heard, they're also going to use the Lizard. But we did see the Lizard in the first Amazing Spider-Man film. They announced plans in December 2023 reboot of the franchise for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for MCU based on the Marvel properties that held the rights to it. Kraven was teasing that film. With its written Mark Webb was pretty interested in seeing the character appear on film. Yeah, I'd rather have the Amazing Spider-Man 3 or 4, or heck, I'd rather even have Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire fighting him. Because again, I'm sorry to repeat myself, folks, like a broken record. I hate to sound like a broken record, like a fanboy, but you cannot have these characters, especially Chris Hunter. In my opinion, you can't have them without Spider-Man. Without Spider-Man, what is the point? You know, make him into a Spider-Man movie first, put him in there, and then maybe give him a movie. That'd be more interesting. Rise Fans, who was in Venom, they just kind of threw him in there, you know, which was stupid. In February 2015, though, Marvel Studios, they announced another reboot, and then they were gonna reboot it again with can I talk? Like Spider-Man: Homecoming with Tom Holland in 2017. Instead, we got Vulture played by Michael Keaton. Sony announced its own shared universe. You know what? I don't care what people say. They got, they got the character Vulture right, I think, and Mysterio were great in those movies. Yeah, by Jake Gyllenhaal, I thought he did a great job. And Norman Osborn coming back. I'm talking about the Green Goblin. He was great. Yeah, that movie might be nostalgia, but I think it does nostalgia in the right way. I'd rather watch Spider-Man No Way Home than any of these movies. So Sony tended to be their MCU Spider-Man films. I'm talking about the Sony Spider-Man universe, with making their films about other Spider-Man characters, villains, anti-heroes, supporting characters like Madam Web, but that didn't work. Beginning with Venom, the studio was considering a Kraven film for the universe. Before learning that they had film rights for Kraven, director Ryan Coogler hoped to include the character in the MCU film Black Panther because of his fight between Black Panther and Kraven and Christopher Priest's Black comic book character. That would have been cool. I mean, Black Panther 3, if we got that, I would see Sherry take on him. I mean, that'd be cool. But sadly, Chadwick Boseman died. But if we did get a sequel with Chadwick, if he was still alive, I would have loved to see Kraven in the movie. Yeah. Richard Wink, I had no idea he was a villain of him until I read it. Richard Hank was hired to write a screenplay for Kraven the Hunter in August 2018. A month after the release of Sony's Equalizer 2, which he wrote, the project was billed as the next chapter of Sony's shared universe. Wink was tasked with introducing Kraven to audiences to figure out which character he could hunt in the film, since Spider-Man considered to be Kraven's white whale in the comic books, to appear due to the MCU deal. Whether the film would target adult audiences would depend on the audience's response to Venom's darker approach. Wink said he was cracking the story and telling the film before beginning script, intended to adore the character's comic book lore, playing by featuring Kraven's fighting Spider-Man. Wink said Sony intended to tap to Kraven's Last Hunt comic book storyline. There was no ongoing discussions to do it. They got too far from Kill Bill. I guess I seek expression from that. I'm sure that's better. They decided on directing Kraven based on the script. Sony confirmed that Kraven was in development in 2019. Sean Watts, the director of Homecoming and the sequel Spider-Man Far From Home, expressed interest in featuring Kraven in a third film. They have watched pitched a film pitting Peter Parker against Kraven to Spider-Man star Tom Holland, but this idea was abandoned in favor of the multiverse story Spider-Man No Way Home. So, yeah, which is fine. Spider-Man Brand New Day, you could have added Kraven in there, maybe. August 2020, Hartman and Matt Hawley, who I'll mention later, they rewritten the script after their uncredited rewrites for Morbius. At that time, J.C. Sander talks to direct the film, along with Matt Tomlish, A.V. Everhart, who were producers, A.V. Everhart, who of course screws these movies up. Chandler was also confirmed as director in May 2021. Aaron Taylor Johnson was set to cast as Kraven. It's not a film. They approached actors like Brad Pitt, Keanu Reeves, John David Linton for the role. I could probably see Brad Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt, maybe. Or Keanu Reeves, yeah, definitely. But Sony executives moved quickly to cast Johnson after they were blown away by his late footage in the film Bullet Train. Taylor Johnson began negotiations after a phone call with Chandler Thomas, and you can tell he worked out for this movie. He is in good shape for the film. By July, though, Jude Chandler Smith was reportedly talks to portray Craven's love interest Calypso. Holland said that he and Velasco discussed respiring his role as Spider-Man in the film. Neither Holland nor his character appeared in this finished film. According to Sony, Christopher the Walt Disney Company, which held the rights to the MCU, never forbid Sony from using Holland or the Peter Parker Spider-Man character of Sony Pictures or the animation Spider-Man in the universe into the Spider-Man verse. But Sony felt that audiences would not accept Holland's live-action Spider-Man appearing in a non-MCU film after No Way Home and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. The film was greenlit with a production budget of $9 million, but due to the 23 writers and actors strike, the cost increased. The final cost reportedly is a high $130 million. Russell Crowe was cast. Russell Crowe was cast in the film to play his father, actually, Nikolai. They many of the main characters in the film members of Kraven's family, potentially betraying Kraven's brother, killing him from the comics. His half brother declined due to scheduling conflict. Turner Smith was also confirmed not to be cast in the film. Fred Hensler joined the cast as Chameleon. Alexander Nova was cast as a villain. Christopher Opta was cast as the film's main villain. Filming began in Iceland early February 2022 at Lake Monova, and 80-person crew involved in the shooting over 2 days. Filming began on March 20th, 2022 in London, England, under the working title The Sprawl. Ben Davis served as cinematographer after doing several MCU movies. Levi Miller joined the cast in April, which he said is something really beautiful, personal to the story. I'm just spitballing here, sorry. Nevertheless, stated that the film would clear time jump that his character would only physically transform in the final act, so he was not required to do screen work. He described it as a classic villain role. The following month, Hencher confirmed that he was portraying Dimitri. Late in September, the film's release date was delayed on October 6, 2023. I guess due to COVID, maybe. I don't know. They delayed it again, or because of that strike. Yeah. In April 2024, the film's release date was further delayed on December 13, 2024. Chandler felt that the delays allowed him to, so I guess the film got delayed, and they probably did some reshoots for the movie. Despite the shifts underperformance of Madam Web, they felt that Kraven the Hunter would be more in line with the Venom films, and boy were they wrong. Venom got 2 sequels, this ain't getting nothing. Yeah. But for the marketing, I just remember the trailer and the TV spots. They did add The Man Comes Around by Johnny Cash, which I didn't care. I mean, I love Johnny Cash more. He was a great singer, but it just didn't feel right with this movie. Maybe there's a song out there that deals with hunting you could have added. This one just didn't really work. Yeah, the trailer did not look impressive to me, and I skipped seeing this in theater. The film got negative reviews. That one critic said Kraven the Hunter, claiming those trophies is root story and shoddy special effects. Turns out to be a paper tiger. I agree it is. It's a clean credit script with muddy visual effects and Baldo a promising premise. It's not camp enough to become a cult classic. It lacks the conviction and carries most ambitious ideas to the finish line. To down as simply as possible, the studio trying to cut its losses. Yeah. Like I said, they rushed this film out there. So let's see. Sony Pictures, sorry. CEO Tony Verink, whatever the heck his name is, he's the executive chairman and former CEO of Sony Pictures. Yeah, he's still chairman. So he blamed critics for Kraven the Hunter's box office failure. No, it is not critics' fault, you idiot. It's your fault because you're an idiot and you just don't want to work with. You should. You shouldn't have made these movies in the first place. So I hate it when people, either as the director or a chairman like this, just say it's the point. It's their fault. No, it's your fault because you screwed up making the movie. The audiences who saw the film loved it and compared it to the Netflix viewing numbers of Madame Web. They're more neutral, yeah. So he insisted that the audience who saw the film loved it and compared it to the Netflix viewing numbers than Madame Web. Madame Web flopped, you idiots. Yeah, Madame Web, what? Audiences loved it? Oh, yeah. On this $80 million budget, the film only made $125 million. So it still was considered a box office failure. So if you had an $80 million, $100 million budget, still, regardless, Madame Web was not a hit. Barely an inch of money it made. I wouldn't say much. This one was a bigger flop. Yeah. So just being stupid, just mad because can't handle the truth, I guess. The movie sucked. Again, if you like Kraven the Hunter, that's cool. I don't know why, but to each his own. Following the 2 years of delays, though, yeah, it was a box office failure. Yeah, and for the future, basically, they said that he was wanting to make a second and final film featuring the character Kraven's Last Hunt against Spider-Man. Johnson expressed interest in a sixth crossover film. Following the film's project financial failure, reported that Kraven would be the final film, ending any chance of sequel crossover. With the later report from various saying that Sony would not let you stop making films for the characters just to spin off, which were successful. Well, they're going to stop now. They can't really do much anymore because Morbius, Madam Web, yeah, and this movie, Kraven the Hunter, flopped. So you're not going to be able to make any more movies. Yeah. But for the cast of the movie, let's get to the cast. You have Aaron Taylor Johnson as Sergenov Kravinoff, Kraven the Hunter, a hunter gatherer. Considers the character an apex predator. Levi Miller plays the younger version of him. He's from A Wrinkle in Time. Aaron Taylor Johnson, now you probably know him as Kick-Ass from 2010, which I don't like this actor, and I didn't like him in the Godzilla 2014 film. Never really been a fan of him. He's alright as Kraven, but I don't really care for him as Kraven Hunter. I rather prefer somebody else. Like Russell Crowe in the early 2000s, I think he could have been Kraven the Hunter. That would have been cool. He just seems more of a Kraven Hunter in this movie, more interesting. I mean, I could see Russell Crowe maybe as Kraven the Hunter if it was like one of the early Spider-Man films with Sam Raimi, and they wanted to make Spider-Man 4. I wish they would have had Russell Crowe play it. He would have been better. He sounds like the voice for the character. And of course, he was in Avengers Age of Ultron as Peter Maxwell Quicksilver. He was great in that. He did a good job in that supporting character. And that movie was a huge hit. That's probably the only Marvel movie, the only superhero movie he did that was actually a hit. Well, obviously Kick-Ass, but Super Kick-Ass sucks. Shanghai Nights, he was in that when he was a kid. He was good in that, I thought, too. But in that, not a big fan of this actor. Averin DeBoss as Calypso, a voodoo priest who aids him. She's like the love interest in the comics. She's known as a witch. Uh, she was in West Side Story, the remake. In this movie, haven't seen her anything else. Fred Hensher as Dimitri, Chameleon. Yeah, I like the Chameleon in the comics. I liked him in Spider-Man the anime series. Yeah. Billy Brad portrays a younger version of him. Let's see, Fred Hengler. I did not care for his performance in this film. He was just as bad as Milo. Yeah. Oh, it says he was in Ghostbusters 2 or something like that. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me read this again. Freak sakes. Uh, no Ghostbusters. But Fear Street Part 1, 2, and 3. Movies on Netflix. Alexander Novanov as Alisky Axel. I can't say his name right. He's a mercenary who transforms from a human who's the Rhino. Talk about the Rhino character from the comics. Honestly, I like Paul Giamatti better. This actor was just so lame in this role. I think I remember him in Jurassic Park 3. Yeah, as Billy, the guy that steals the baby eggs. Columbia, A Most Violent Year, The Room Next, The Room Next Door, which I've never seen. Like I said, I mostly remember him in Jurassic Park 3 as Billy, Billy Burnett, friend. Yeah. Honestly, Jurassic Park 3 I think is better than this. That's just me. Christopher Abbott as Foreigner. Yeah. See. He's one of the greatest Marvel hero villains out there. Yeah. He's a mercenary assassin. I guess one of the villains for Spider-Man. Christopher Abbott plays him. He did alright. I thought this character was very interesting in the movie, but they don't really do nothing with him. Russell Crowe as Nikolai Kraven. He's a ruthless crown lord, and he's Kraven and Dimitri's father. Russell Crowe, you probably remember who he was like the Gladiator, first Gladiator movie. He was Man of Steel as Jor-El. He was great in that. 310 to Yuma, Cinderella Man, The Nice Guys, Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh, Thor: Love and Thunder, his performance was much worse. Here, it's just he's trying, but Thor: Love and Thunder, I thought he was a lot worse in that. He was horrible in that movie. He's a good actor, and LA Confidential. Yeah, Russell Crowe is one of the best actors out there in my opinion, and here he's just completely wasting his time. You know, Murder 7 has Omenov, Yokno Kalach as Sima. I can't say the name right. Sorry, Crown Lord in the movie. He was in Deadly Force, The Americans, some TV shows. Tom Reed as Bert. All right, and there's directed by J.C. Sander, who honestly I've never seen in his movies except this. Yeah, Morgan Call, All Is Lost, Most Wanted, Year Triple Frontier. So those movies I don't think were hits. And he's produced some movies as well, like Run This Town, Moonives, The Con Is On. So not much. Screenplays by Art Magnum and Matt Holloway. They wrote the script for the first Iron Man movie, the first MCU movie. Yeah. Well, they were one of the and two other writers with Mark Ferguson, Hawksby. Sorry, I can't say the name right. I'm talking about the first MCU movie, Iron Man, and these guys did great writing that script. Then they wrote the script for Punisher Warzone with the late Ray Stevenson, and that film I thought sucked. They did the script for the Transformers last night, did they? Yeah, and that film was horrible. Men in Black International, that film sucked too. Uncharted, which probably bland and forgettable movie. I don't think that film was awful, but honestly, I'm not interested in seeing it. And then this movie, and I guess Morbius too, but they're uncredited. But personally, I do think they had taste in maybe writing for Morbius. Maybe I don't know fully. But like I said, Punisher War and Transformers last night, Man in Black International, Uncharted. These were films that were not huge hits. Were not or really forgettable films. Except the first Iron Man movie. That's probably the best movie they wrote. Shadow of Fear, I've never seen that, so I can't really judge. Richard Wink wrote it as well. He wrote the script for Annie from 1982, Just a Ticket, 16 Blocks, The Expendables 2, which I do like. I didn't care for The Equalizer, I'm sorry, with Denzel Washington, or The Magnificent Seven remake. Jared Reach, should never go back. I never cared for that movie. Seen it once, I didn't care. Stories by Richard Wink as well. It's based on Marvel Comics. Characters created by Steve Ditko and the late Stan Lee. Produced by A.B. Avard, who's been producing these movies since the first Blade movie in 1988, along with the Blade movies, X-Men films, Spider-Man films, and the two Fantastic Four movies from 2000s, Ghost Rider films from 2000s, The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and some of the MCU movies as well. Spider-Man, Homecoming, Far From Home. Matt Tolish produces it as well. He produced the first Amazing Spider-Man film, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji Next Level, Venom of the Carnage, Morbius, Venom Last Dance, and then this movie. He was executive producer on films like other Marvel movies like Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, No Way Home. Yeah. Cinematography is by Ben Davis. His includes work Kick-Ass, the first Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. So some other MCU films, like I said, include the first Kick-Ass movie. Because I think the characters from Marvel, yeah, Kick-Ass is a Marvel movie as well. The first Guardians movie as well. Avengers: Age of Ultron, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, the first one with Brie Larson, Eternals, which sucked. Cinematography is nice in that movie though. Edited by Chris Lisbon and Craig Wood. Why do we need two editors on the film? The Outsiders. Was that with Patrick Swayze? Yeah, it was Matt Dillon and Ralph Macchio. Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, The Last Boy Scout, directed by late Tony Scott, starring Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. Great movie, better than this. Ed Wood, I still need to see it. I haven't, but I haven't watched it. Con Air, that's great. With Nicolas Cage, Sleepy Hollow, love that movie. I like that film, sue me. Big Fish, Taking Up a Pelham 123, the remake with Denzel Washington and John Travolta. Frankie Weenie, working with Tim Burton a little bit. Dumbo, also directed by Tim Burton, and Play Dirty. Greg Wood, also was an editor on the film. He did some music videos like Smashing Pumpkins Today. When it came to films, it was like the Crow remake. I mean, not the Crow remake. The Crow, stars like Brandon Lee. Better movie than this. That film's rated R. Has a better story. Pirates of the Caribbean, Chris Flat Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, The World's End. Never Back Down, I like that movie. The Lone Ranger, which sucks. But, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one he edited, and Volume 2, and Eternals, and Man of the in this movie. There's some other Marvel movies he's worked on too. Music by Benjamin Walsh. Oh my gosh. He did music for movies like Blade Runner 2049, uh, the first Shazam movie, It Chapter 2, The Invisible, Predator Killer of Killers, Ivana Cooked. I can't say the name right. I'm so sorry. Apparently, he's collaborated with some directors such as Barry Seinfeld and the Addams Family and Men in Black, doing some music scores for that. Or, I guess, collaboration. You know, Sasha Groblin, Credits companies Columbia Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, Arrow Productions, Matt Thomas Productions. Shiver by Sony Pictures releasing. It was released December 13, 2024. Here in the US, the film was 127 minutes long. The film was about 2 hours and 7 minutes long. The budget is 110, estimated to be $110 million to $130 million. Like I said, the budget went up because of that strike. But the movie made only $62 million back. So this was a huge flop. I wouldn't say it was a box office failure. I'd say this is a box office bomb. All the way downhill. But for the story of the movie, if you've never seen Kraven the Hunter, don't watch the middle movie. If you plan to, if you're saying I'm gonna watch do a superhero marathon myself, Levi, I'm like okay, well then if you're gonna do superhero marathon, you want to go all for it like I did with these reviews, you know, or you don't have your own YouTube channel like I do. If you just want to watch do like a superhero marathon yourself and you watch this movie, warn you it does suck. But if you haven't seen this movie, turn off the video right now. There are spoilers in this review. You've been warned, buddies, folks. So anyway, with the story of the movie, this tells Kraven's history. This is out about how he becomes Kraven the Hunter. Basically, it's an origin story. We didn't get that with Madam Web because Madam Web kind of jumped. So I guess they figured, well, let's just give the character an origin story. I guess that's part of the writing. So anyway, the story Kraven's complex relationship with his ruthless father, Nikolai, it tears him down a path of vengeance. He, nearly gets killed by a lion. this girl, little girl named Calypso, who becomes this witch, like in the future. His love interest. She like gives him this potion that makes him better. It gives him all his powers, his abilities. Now motivating him to become not only the greatest hunter in the world, but also one of the most feared. And yes, since this film is a superhero movie, even though Kraven is not technically really a superhero, I mean, I'm sure that most way to be an anti-hero, like in Spider-Man the anime series, when the film messes with the formula that he takes messes with his mind. It's about his past to grandson. Also, his father's a ruthless gangster, so he's got another gangster who is the Rhino, played by Billy from Jurassic World 3, and they want to they kidnap his brother Dimitri, so Kraven has to be the hero. This movie really beats you over the head with him being a superhero. Keeps reminding you of that. This film sets up making him to be a hero, and he's got to save his brother and stop the Rhino, and you know, and become the world's greatest hunter of all in the world for that goal. And that's the plot for you. Yes, I can't explain it any better than that. But let's say spoilers in the review, so okay, I can't read this from here, but I'll try my best. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the movie itself. Then after that, I'll give you my final thoughts on it. Why I hated this film. Again, I've seen. Just because it's very large doesn't make it good. There is blood and gore in there, but not very much. Honestly, I didn't film this film had much action in it. I'm sorry, I didn't see much action in there. Some of it was 20 seconds tops. It's very quick editing. It's very much rushes. Like they just kind of they force it in there. I've seen films. You talk about being hunted. Watch Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's an action film, but Van Damme is more of a badass in that movie. Hard Target has plenty of action in it. It's very entertaining. With Stallone, Cliffhanger, that is good action. Die Hard, the first Die Hard movie has plenty of action in it and blood, and is a real awesome film. See, Die Hard 2 is an awesome sequel. Underrated. Die Hard 3 is even awesome. Die Hard 4, even the PG-13 cut is more entertaining to watch than this. Yeah. And the Terminator movies with Arnold or Commando, that's a better movie than this. Or the first two Blade movies, Blade 1 and 2, they're rated R, they're better than this. The Punisher from 1989 with Dolph Lundgren is better than this. Yeah. They have really good action in it, and he's got that cool motorcycle that he drives in the movie. And also the Punisher from 2004. Does have a but when the action's there, it's good, but it has a really good story with Thomas Jane. And Thomas Jane is a better actor, and so is I think Dolph Lundgren a better actor, in my opinion. When it comes to being an action hero than acting, they're both better. Punisher Warzone is no better. Punisher Warzone, I mean, some of the blood you can probably laugh at, but the film is just not good. It's just too over the top and cartoony and so lame and stupid. Half of it's more of a drama, and when you do get action there, it's just cartoony. So Punisher Warzone, and I hated the turtleneck thing with the suit. Yeah, but again, I'm thinking the first two Blade movies. Uh, those are rated R, and the Punisher movies, the first two with Dolph Lundgren from 1989 and 2004 version of Thomas Jane. Those are rated R. Those are great Marvel movies, great films. And DC, Watchmen 2009, and the ones I just read chapter one and two are better than this because they have good stories. Yeah, it's not just about the film, the rating. Yes, Sony, these films should be rated R. Yes, but the thing is, the problem, Sony, you don't know how to tell a good story. You force these movies in our face, and you want us to like you just shove it. These films are just shoved and rushed to be made. Yeah, as long as the other movies here, Viva Vendetta, that's not. Well, I think that might have been DC. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. But Viva Vendetta, that had a good story. That with Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman, that was a good movie. That was entertaining. Yeah, yeah. Even some of the Batman films, Batman '89, Batman vs. Batman Forever, I think are better. Even Batman and Robin, I'd watch over this. Bane and Batman and Robin, played by G. Swenson, looks a lot better than Rhino in this film. Yes, I said it. Sue me. Just looking. RoboCop 1 and 2, well, they're not really superhero movies, but I consider RoboCop a superhero, so yeah. But yeah, RoboCop 1 and 2, those have plenty of gore in it, and they have good stories. Yeah. Screw the remake and RoboCop 3, they're both awful anyway. But anyway, let's get to Kraven the Hunter. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I've seen some action movies that are better too. Yeah. So anyway, let's get to talk about the movie itself. I'm sorry for blabbering there. I just want to use some examples of some movies that are better. And this, yeah, the problem with this film is the story, and I get to why. So the film opens up with a Russian song, which I've heard better in Air Force One with Harrison Ford. Air Force One, Die Hard on, Air Force on the President's plane, Air Force One, with Harrison Ford and Gary Oldman. That had some good Russian music in it. That was a very entertaining movie, really good, a lot better than this. Great music by Jerry Goldsmith too, especially the opening titles, you know. But anyway, we open up with a Russian song. You see the prisoners going to take a piss. It's like snowing. They put Kraven in jail. And the whole movie, you open up with subtitles. Some of the cinematography in this film is just ugly. Yeah. And anyway, Kraven goes talk to this guy who he's after for a reason, this gangster. He kills them. I don't really remember. It's just skeleton, some blood going there, but not much, nothing cool. So he just escapes out of prison. We can't have him fight some prisoners or fight some cops and a little more blood gore. At least Deadpool 1 and 2, yeah, Deadpool 1 and 2 are and Deadpool Wolverine. I can't forget that Marvel movies that are all rated R and are much better. At least Deadpool, all those movies they go all in with the action and the blood and gore. This film didn't. This film just I felt like Sony was just holding back. They were just saying, let's make this film rated R. People will come see it, to get our butts in the seats. So he jumps, he gets out of the prison, escapes in the snow. He's running and there's like a avalanche coming and he sees this werewolf and it's a bad CGI werewolf. I'm like, he's just staring at the werewolf. I guess it's like warning him of weather. I don't know, folks. It doesn't make no sense. The beginning with him being in prison, just I didn't really care for that. You lost me within 5 seconds here. I don't get it right away. I'm like, what does that have to do with the movie? This whole prison shit. I'm like, then he's looking at the wolf, staring at the wolf. Is he gonna stare at the wolf? Having the wolf go, oh, howl or something? Am I watching Balto from 1995, which turns 30, I think, in November? Balto with Kevin Bacon and late Bob Hoskins. I mean, the animated film Balto. You know, are they gonna howl at the in the sky? Yeah. But Kraven runs in there and says, "Let's go." Kind of reminds me of Raiders of the Lost Ark a little bit, which is a better movie with that. And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, you would have called me time. I would have got it anyway." And we get to the memory of his past. Hey, see him and his brother Dimitri, their kids. Their father Nikolai, played by Russell Crowe, comes to pick them up, tells them, "Your mother died. Yeah, she killed herself. We're gonna go hunting." Yeah, literally takes them hunting because he wants to teach them how to be a man, be ruthless. He shoots an elk or whatever, like a deer kind of animal, whatever. He kills one, makes Craven, Sergey, feel it, touch it. Yeah, and the whole thing with he is he becomes Kraven the Hunter, this villain, mainly because of his father, who was an asshole in this film, and it makes him an asshole too. And I'm like, he's basically freaking Lionel Luthor. Yeah, to me, he reminds me completely of Lionel Luthor from our Derek Power's son from Batman Beyond. Oh, because their father's an a-hole, their father's a bad guy, so they're teaching them how to be bad. They teach them how to be ruthless. Like he's basically just Lionel Luthor here, you know. But that was better done in Smallville, because that's a TV show that has 10 seasons, so it had definitely better done with that. So basically, Russell Crowe's character, in a way, is kind of like to me like John Glover from Smallville, Lionel Luthor. Yeah, and he abuses the boys. He's hard on Dimitri. Him and Alexia, who becomes the Rhino. He's got like the weird looking hair, and they're talking. And he's like, "You're talking hunting stalks me and annoys me." They're talking about their sons, and he always flicks his brother's ear. Yeah, yeah. But the next morning they go hunting. They see a lion. This kind of reminds me of The Ghost in the Darkness with Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. But better movie than this, in my opinion. But the lion, like the lion attacks him right away because Sergey doesn't shoot it. So his father, so Nikolai tries to shoot the lion gets away. Calypso's like something to her grandmother, whatever. She senses with her witch abilities, I guess that he's out there. She gives him this serum and it saves his life. Rogers, try to like rehabilitate him. He sees like images of the jungle and stuff, and he wakes up with his eyes. Nikolai says, "You're coming home." He's like, "No, he needs to be sedated." He's like, "I don't care." He says, "Hey, son, are you okay? I love you. Hope you're okay." He says, "Why didn't you shoot the bear, you moron, you coward?" He gets the line. He tries to tell him, "You're gonna be like me. You're gonna grow up to be like me. You're gonna be a gangster like me. You're gonna be ruthless, little criminal like me." And he's like, "That line should have killed you instead." And he pushes him. So he's like, "Sergey, come back here." Nikolai presses him, but he runs back. He escapes, and Dimitri's like, "You're gonna just leave me?" He's like, "Yeah, bro. See you later." Literally just leaves him. Flicks in the ear thing, and they just go. So he goes in this animal sanctuary, and and Kraven starts to become a hunter. He starts training himself to run fast in the woods and tries to chase after a lion or tiger, whatever, some CGI awful looking animal. Then these guys kill these CGI animals. They do the subtitles. He, you know, throws a knife at the guy's face, kills him, kills the other guy, beats him, and then it takes place 16 years later. Sergey, he goes by the work now. Kraven. This when you get the prison scene, but the movie goes back and forth. It's pulling in Batman Begins by going back and forth on the story. I think that the filmmakers took inspiration from Batman Begins when they go back and forth on stories. Just give me an origin story. Don't really give me their childhood. Now I have to go into Craven and his daddy issues, just like freaking Hulk from 2003, which I don't need that. And that reminded me that of, I'm surprised Russell Crowe didn't do it. I don't know. I'm just being weird. Trying to have like, if you've seen that movie, you've seen Hulk. The way he acts at the end. You know. But the whole animal sanctuary thing, he goes there, after, you know, the whole thing with the Russians and, his brother, he gets a call from his brother, Craven's eating up a fish or whatever. Yeah. But Callisto's like grown up now. He's able to track her down because he's a hunter and track people down. We don't see this. He's just there. Tells her who he is and kind of person. He's like, "Well, I'm a lawyer. You're killing innocent people. You shouldn't do that." Blah blah blah. I didn't care about any of this. Then you see Alexia, who is now he's got like this book bag. He got like experiment. He turns up to the Rhino, and he wants to take over. Well, his business, Nikolai's business. So he meets with these men. He's really mean to his dog as well. I'm like, I was kind of hoping his dog would just kill him at the end, but he just dies. I'm like, it's a white water kind of dog. I forget what the dog's name was, but he's like really mean to the dog. I'm like, that dog should just bit his neck and killed him. Yeah, I don't know why that dog just didn't bite him right here because I'll tell you about his weakness a little later. It's right here, on the side of his stomach. How he becomes a rhino. Okay. So we don't really get Rhino in this movie. It's the climax of the film. Spoiler alert. Yeah, you don't see it till the climax, the third act of the movie. And again, awful CGI. But anyway, before we get there, he goes meet with these people. Says, "I'll be your boss." Why couldn't we have like what only one car show up with a few men in it? Why couldn't if they were gonna fight him, they knew he was the Rhino. Why not show up with a whole bunch of men? He turned into his Rhino form and start bloody killing them one by one. I mean, that'd been cool to see. But no, he really turns to Rhino. They shoot him. He's like, I'm okay." And the other guy says, "I'll work for you," so he shoots them. Oh yeah, mention about Kraven. I'm sorry, I'm going over. This movie's just everywhere with the story. Yeah. If you won't care when you even see it. That's how the story is good. It just goes everywhere. But this movie is just all over the place to me. But Craven, when Sergey grows up, he becomes Craven the Hunter. He's known as the world's greatest hunter in the world. He's hunted men and killed, and people fear him. He's got like a list of people who come after and kill him, and also he's on there, so he's trying to find out. He's like, the hunter is after me. Let me find out who he is. He really able to take over his business. The man that obviously is partner, he shoots the other criminal hit guy in the head. Goes to Sergey. His son Dimitri is a singer, owns this club, and they say Alexia sends his regards, and they try to shoot him, and it doesn't work. He gets shot, but Rita's like, "You okay, Papa? You all right?" He's like, "You want your child? You need to be a man." You know, yeah. But eventually, he shows up to his brother's place. And he gets out of the shower. He sneaks up on him, "Hey, bro," and they talk and see how things are going. He's like, "You're not weak. You just be you. You be you. Don't be who you want to be." Sees his father. He just shakes his hand, does not really want to talk to him. It's not really a pleasant conversation. And next time with Dimitri gets drunk and he takes him home. They go to sleep. He's having the nightmares. I guess Kraven has just been living in the woods. He's used to sleeping out in the woods, so he goes to sleep out in the woods, with his shoes off. I'm surprised somebody didn't call the cops because he looks like a homeless man, just like that. Really weird. I'm like, just sleep in a tree or something where nobody can see you. But you're in the middle of a park lot. Yeah. Surprised somebody didn't try to attack him. Since he does run away from guns, since he's not bulletproof, I'm surprised somebody just didn't shoot him or stab him in the face or something and try to steal something from him. But he walks with a shoe. This guy on the elevator, he said, bro, can you handle me? He's like, can you handle that for me? And the guy's being a dick and letting it go, so he gets his knife and throws it to the elevator button. He's like, I tried to hold it for you. Yeah, no asshole, sure you did. I have an asshole sitting down like you. Then he comes back, he's like, Dimitri's, and Dimitri's down there. I'm like, these guys came really fast, and I'm like, why would Kraven need to really walk up there anyway? Kraven can just, yeah, he can, saw him earlier in the movie, when he goes see his brother, he could jump up the fucking building like Spider-Man literally with his abilities, like a lion or something, like an animal. Well, like a Spider-Man was, jump up there real quick. But he just walks. I'm like, why do you need to walk, Raven? You just jump the heck up there. Just tie your jacket on your wrist and climb up there. These guys are taking my brother. Yeah, down, motherfuckers. Yeah. But no, he's like, the man trap. So he jumps down there, tell people, get the fuck out of the way. Jump down there. He jumps on the car, the truck, and the idiot, dumbass, happy trigger bad guy starts to shoot the window and he's like, you idiot, it's bulletproof. I'm like, oh, the bad guy not know that. Even the henchman would fucking know that. I'm like, come on, moron. And he's almost able to get them, but they knock him down just by a car like that easily. Come on, he's just taken out like that. Then he chases them like a plane. This scene reminded me of Captain America: Brave New World when Cap is grabbing the shield, a little bit, but he's doing it with the net, like in Cliffhanger, like Stallone, like throwing the net, throwing a hook. That was better done in Cliffhanger. With the helicopter scene, this was awful CGI. Then there was a scare at one of the guys. Dimitri gets kidnapped. He fails. I'm like, so Kraven, you're able to stop bad guys and kill bad guys, but you suck at chasing bad guys. You suck at chasing kidnappers though. And he goes to the lady. I did thought it was kind of funny when he walks in the building and this guy says, "Need something, buddy? Can I help you?" Something like, "Yeah, give me a towel." This one guy's gonna shock him. Then they talk about his brother, find out what to do, and he goes to his father and he says that it was the Rhino that kidnapped him. He's like, "You got money?" He's like, "No, he's weak. I don't need to." They kill him anyway. And he's like, "No." He almost, Kraven gets smart with him, and Kraven's like, "Can't touch me no more." It's like, "I'm gonna come back from my mom and go save my brother." So yeah, Alexia, thanks to the prison riot, which we didn't need in the movie, because prisons have cameras. So if he's trying to keep his identity secret, he's not doing well at that. He didn't think before, oh, maybe I should avoid the cameras just in case my brother gets kidnapped, somebody sees my face, and somebody from my past who might know me, just in case, avoid cameras. Do you think about that, Craven? Somebody sees your face? Because we have computers nowadays that can charm your face and see who you really are and find out who the family members are. So he brings Dimitri over. One guy tries to give him, Dimitri tries to intimidate guys, gets bitch slapped by a guy. And after that, as he talks to him, he's like, well, we need to come together. He's offering Dimitri, I'll make you a man, I'll make you better. We can be partners. We can kill your father and be done with this. Like, you think I betray my family like that? Of course, he's not wanting to do it. Shows him his rhino abilities again. He hires the foreigner who's an assassin who uses hypnosis to kill his targets. He's looking for Kraven. He kills this one guy. And then Calypso made a deal with this informant, information about the Rhino, and since he's a loose end, uh, what's his name? The Foreigner kills him. He was a pretty cool villain. I don't know why the Foreigner couldn't have been the main villain in here. So Craven, yeah, didn't really talk. He gets onto this monster. He kills some of these guys, like sneaks around them. But again, this it's like 20 to me. The action scenes didn't last that long. And again, I've seen better action movies that have scenes with blood and gore. Like some of the Marvel movies, Blade 1 and 2, Punisher 1989, Punisher 2004, and the Deadpool movies, all three of them. Get a lot of better quick blood and gore scenes. These things just happen really fast. He tells the guy, he's like, "You kill me, we'll know who your brother's like." So they fall down like 50 feet or 80, 10,000, 1,000 something feet from this building. CGI rocks come and attack them, falling them, and this guy's like, "Kraven the Hunter dead." So Kraven kills these two guys. Not much of anything. He finds Calypso again, or she finds him. Whatever, I don't remember. That's when she gets kind of like the bow and arrow, which she only uses one time. Her and Kraven talk about what he is. Talk about him. They got Dimitri. Uh, they're gonna use Dimitri as bait. Yeah. So they chase him down. Like he uses one of the animals to attack. I'm surprised he didn't use Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey to help. Like, come to me, animal friends. Alrighty then. I must ask you questions. I'm like, with Ace Ventura did it better with animals. Yeah, Baba. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Like a glove. Those are better movies, especially Ace Ventura when Nature Calls, when they live in the jungle. At least the animals are practical. I mean, maybe a little halfway CGI in there, but still more practical effects in that movie in the Jungle Book from 1994. And this CGI leopard that he has a fist fight with, which was pointless, helps him fight the bad guys or whatever. The dog, I guess, runs away. I don't remember what happens to the dog or he dies, but we don't think see it, thankfully. But some of the men get attacked. The foreigner attacks him, and the foreigner kicks Craven's ass. To be honest, he gets him down pretty good. Craven has like spiders, like Spider-Man being his future villain. I guess as you can see, it's either a fear toxin or the have not hypnosis. But it's like he's seeing what's in the future for him, an enemy. Yeah. But so Spider, I mean, we got Spider-Man, but it's gonna kill her. You know, Calypso shoots him with the arrow in the eye. I'm like, wow, you make Kraven look like a bitch in this movie, like a wimp. Gets a few shots down, and by okay, that's one easy way to take him down. I'm like, Kraven, you're a hunter. You should be able to do a little better in a fight. Come on, you live for hunting and fighting. You're an apex predator, but you became the bitch, the prey. So pretty much, you became the wimp. So he gets attacked. Um, she saves him. She does the pillion, so he dies for a second time. Chases them after time, and all the CGI buffaloes come over. Yeah, Ace Ventura. Still no Ace Ventura doesn't show up, but anyway, they show up. The lions, not the lions, the buffalo. One of the men gets stabbed by a buffalo by falling out of the car. Let's see, it becomes the rhino finally. And the fight, I didn't really care for the fight. It was just bad CGI. Kraven gets his ass handed to him. He only takes him down because he's like, my father's right, you are nothing. Even though he's like choking him, and Kraven like stabs him to the side. So basically, this book bag that has I guess it's venom in it, kind of like Bane. When he gets stabbed to the side, it turns him into the rhino, and he gets, you know, Dimitri wants to shoot him. But the fight between him and Rhino looks awful. Rhino looked a lot better in Paul Giamatti when he's wearing the suit, saying, I know. That was more entertaining than anything in this for the few seconds of that movie. It's a shame it makes Spider 3. We didn't get to see that cool Rhino suit. I think that Rhino suit was cool. I'd rather have that. The Rhino here ain't no better, folks. Rhino, we barely get Rhino in this movie. Rhino is not a developed character, making him a main villain, a guy who's just nothing and wants to become this monster. Rhino is just shoehorned in here. Sorry if I did a real bad pun there, but he's just shoehorned in here, and then he dies at the end because Kraven like stabs him. One stab. Well, I'm like Rhino. It would be a suit. Not actually turn to a freaking rhino, especially a CGI one. But when he says something like, "You think who I was really working for?" And of course, it was his father. Spoiler alert: yeah, Russell Crowe was the one that had his son kidnapped. I guess so he can track him down, teach him a lesson. I don't know, or he just wanted to get rid of the competition. Nikolai reviews that he knew Alexei was targeting him, so he motivated his sons to remove him. He steals his father's ammunition, so like, you're finally gonna be killed. You're gonna be saved this time, father. And then this bad awful CGI bear attacks Russell Crowe and kills him off screen, kills him. Then we get to 1 year later, Craven visits Dimitri. So you find out Dimitri is an asshole now himself, like his dad. He became all this, right? He became like, he's like, well, you're better. You're just awful. You hunt and you kill. He's like, well, I kill those bad people. No, I'm better than him. Oh, you see yourself as perfect. Then we see he's like, he turns into his face like his brother's face. Then we see him as the chameleon. Just at the end, he reveals to Kraven that he states that despite his claims of being morally superior, he and Nikolai were the same. Hunters searching for their next great trophy. At home, he gains the shapeshifting abilities from the doctor who experimented on Alexia. And with that, it's setting up for a sequel. He's like, well, I'm going to take over his business. That means he's going to kill a bunch of crime lords. He's going to become like the biggest criminal in the city. And Kraven's like, brother, I can't let you do that. It's basically setting up for a sequel, which never happened. You know, yeah. Them being brothers, I guess they're half brothers. Okay, whatever. This movie just steps into Smash Brothers, but that didn't work with Sabretooth Wolverine and X-Men Origins Wolverine. It didn't work in Morbius. Him, you know, Michael and Milo were brothers, somewhat, I guess, half brothers. Whatever. That didn't work. But Kraven goes home, so he discovers a note from Nicholas. Oh yeah, Calypso. Not much of. I'll get that later. This vest made from the skin of the killed lion from long ago, and that's where he. Yeah, you see him put him on. He's just, the poster where he's just sitting there. Yeah. So if you expect to see that whole thing in the movie, yeah, and that's the end of Kraven the Hunter. So anyway, guys, let me give my final thoughts on this movie. Why I don't like it. Kraven the Hunter. This film sucks. This is one of the worst comic book films ever. I hated this film. It was trash. I mean, this was horrible. It's one of the worst superhero movies ever made. It's one of the worst films ever made. One of the worst comic book films ever made. I mean, I'd rather watch The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Yeah, they're not perfect, but they're better than this. Actually, Spider-Man 3, I don't like that either. That's the worst Spider-Man movie in my opinion, but Spider-Man 3 I think is better. Well, better mainly just because of the action. The action in that movie is really good. At least Spider-Man 3 has the action, and sometimes the music score is good too. The CGI was a lot better in Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 1 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1 2, I think had better looking CGI. Electro looks cool and blue. The Rhino does in here. Rhino looks completely gray and awful in CGI. So first of all, the story sucks. The film goes back and forth with the story, which I didn't care. The story makes no sense. With him being in prison, then we get to see him as a child. I didn't care about this. I didn't need to see him in his daddy issues. I don't care about Craven's past. You know, not having Spider-Man there. You know, you could have put Craven in the one of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Yeah, or with him showing up to hunt Spider-Man down, because he wants the greatest hunt. Spider-Man as a trophy. He wants to kill Spider-Man. It is so simple to do. Or just give him a history like they did in the anime series, like he's a tragic villain. They could have done something like that, but no, we gotta give him a history. This movie beat you over the head that no, Craven is a villain, plain and simple. He is a bad guy. He is insane. He is crazy. He's a hunter. The man's mad. The character is a mad. He's a madman, basically. And they beat you. They make him an anti-hero. This film beats you over the head that he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's just defeating bad people, killing bad people that are bad and bad and bad, like killing animals. He's the king of the jungle, protector of the jungle. He's an anti-hero though. You know, the story's cliche with him and his brother. His brother becomes a villain, and the father. Oh, well, the history. I didn't need to know his backstory and how he got his powers and how he became this way. We're seeing how he becomes Kraven the Hunter. Basically, an origin story. The direction is horrible. J.C. Sender, you suck as a director. You're terrible. Art McComb, Matt Holloway, who wrote some of those awful movies I mentioned earlier in this video, they cannot write worth a crap. Richard Link, your story sucks for this movie. The cinematography, some of the cinematography looks decent, I'll admit, but still, I don't care about this. Screw that. Cinematography, the editing. Okay, I'll admit there was the action scene where he stops these guys in the trucks, but it lasts for only 20 seconds. Could have been a cool scene. Stabs these two guys, bites one guy's nose off, but it's just these guys drive away, and Kraven doesn't chase him. He just stays in the car in the truck after defeating the two guys. The other two drive off. He kills the guy a little later. He'll start off with that. Or, but Kraven doesn't chase them. I'm like, you get power of an animal. You could just chase them down real quick. You move up really fast. You can't chase a car down. Come on. Call one of your animal friends to come over and knock these two guys down and kill them. No. It's just two cars and 5 or 6 guys. I don't know what, 6 guys, and they could add more. But the action scenes, the editing is horrible. The editing, action scenes, you do get some blood and gore, and the whole thing with the nose biting off, that was gruesome to see. Like, cool, but you don't see much action at all. It's just, yeah. And Kraven has to get his ass saved by Calypso. Calypso is not a love interest. They have no chemistry. It's very flat. Her character is just there to give him his powers, and the reason he becomes the hunter is because of her, and she's just there to as a supportive character, not a love interest. They don't do anything with her. The music score is forgettable. Didn't care for the music score. The acting was bad. Airtail Johnson was just did not fit the character very well, in my opinion. He's better as Quicksilver. Aaron DeBoss was not good. Russell Crowe was just doing it for the paycheck. I mean, he should have been in his earlier days. He could have, if he was 2000s, he could have been Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, he would have been awesome, I think. And the guy that plays Billy from Jurassic Park 3, not much of his character. His character is nothing. Just like his character, nothing. And we don't get right until the end in bad CGI. The CGI, the special effects were awful. Yeah, the story just sucks. At least Madam Web, I got some good girls dancing, and I look at Sydney Sweeney, so it's not so bad. Even though that movie's complete awful too, when the bad guy dies by Pepsi, gets killed by Pepsi sign, gets killed by Pepsi sign. The villain in here just gets killed because he gets stabbed once, and Kraven get him run over by a stampede and Brown like Rhino just gets taken down like that. So Rhino's a wimp too in this movie. Chameleon we don't see to the end. It's bad looking CGI face. It's just awful looking. This film is just completely awful. It's boring. It's dull. There's nothing. I mean, some of the cinematography is a little decent, but when you see the CGI animals, it's awful. Can't know what I say about it, but you want to have Kraven the Hunter, you need to have Spider-Man first. He needs to be in a Spider-Man movie. It makes more sense. Marvel Spider-Man 2, that was a good story. Or Spider-Man the anime series, they were good. Marvel Spider-Man 2, the 2018 film, a 2018 game. Marvel Spider-Man 2, that was a real awesome game. And they did really good with Kraven. You know, Kraven was a crazy mad villain, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 he was as well. Trying to teach Spider-Man how to kill, how to become a killer. I like that. Could have done something like that. Maybe Kraven becomes an ally, but is really an enemy. And there's a madman, of course, and wants to kill Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man 3, the video game, you have Kraven the Hunter determined to kill you. In the video game, in Spider-Man 3 game, he's determined to kill Spider-Man, hang him on his wall as a trophy. It is, how hard is it to do? Why do I need to hear about his daddy issues? I don't care about his past. I don't need to hear Kraven's past. I don't care. Just make the villain the villain. Okay? I don't need a backstory of their childhood. I don't need a backstory for the villains of Spider-Man. All his villains are usually just out crazy out there. They're just insane, and man, a lot of his villains are wacky and stuff. I don't need their moments childhood trauma thrown in my face. That's just stupid. Kraven is the one of the best villains, and you screw him up. So hopefully, if we get Kraven in live action, don't have Aaron Jones playing. I don't want that. Do him right. Bring him in the right way. And same thing with Venom. Bring Venom right. Venom has been screwed up 4 times. I would say Spider-Man 3, then the Venom movies, so that counts as 4. Venom's been screwed up horribly too. Random Web, you didn't really need a Random Web movie. Morpheus has been screwed up too. Do these characters justice. Bring them in a Spider-Man movie, Morpheus and Kraven. And Madam Web, just have her as a supporting character, and that's it. We don't need her freaking history. Of her mama getting bit by a spider, and these spider people saving her, and Morbius, oh, he's a doctor, and he's a brother, and becomes an anti-hero. I'm like, yeah, this movie really beats you over the head. And Kraven is a main villain, so it's a villain, yes. Don't make him out to be a hero. It just doesn't work. This movie is boring. It's awful. It just doesn't work. So anyway, I'm done talking about this piece of crap shit film. Gosh. So my rating for Kraven the Hunter, I'm gonna give this film 0 out of 5 stars. Yes, my rating for this film again is 0 out of 5 stars. I hated this movie, and a thumbs down, Kraven the Hunter. So guys, tell me in the comments down below what do you think of Kraven the Hunter in your opinion. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think of it in your opinion? Let me know. And stay tuned, guys, because the next review, let's see. I will be reviewing only three 2025 movies. That will be Captain America Brave New World, uh, Batman Ninja versus Yozoko League, and Thunderbolts, the new Avengers. So I will not be reviewing Superman, the new Fantastic Four movie, the old Guard 2, or the new Batman animated film that just came out this month. Direct to video, Clash of Empires, Attacks Batman, Clash of Empires. Yeah, again, not the new Fantastic Four First Steps. Fantastic Four First Steps or Superman. I will not be reviewing those. Just Captain America, and I will be starting with Captain America, I believe. Let's see. That will be yes, yeah. Again, directed by Julius Onch and starring Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford, Liv Tyler, and I think what's his name, Carl Lumbly, and Tim Blake Nelson. It is the 35th film in the MCU, continuation of the miniseries of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That will be, sorry, Captain America: Brave New World. Let's see. So that will be Captain America: Brave New World. So this will be the next review, starting with the year 2025. Only three movies. Starting with this because this film came out. Yeah, well, this came out on Valentine's Day this year on February. So, yep, Captain America: Brave New World. That'll be the next review. So stay tuned, guys. Just three more movies to go. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye. And what's your opinion on Kraven the Hunter? I hope you enjoyed all my Spider-Man reviews. I did review Spider-Man 2002 to this movie, and I definitely want to review the new one someday in the future. But I hope you enjoyed all my Spider-Man reviews and Spider-Man, Sony Spider-Man universe type movies I've been reviewing here. And Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, the Tom Holland ones, Andrew Garfield, Andrew Garfield ones, Tom McGuire. I read all those. If you want to know my thoughts on those revisit reviews, and check out all my reviews of the Spider-Man stuff, including some of his villain movies. But again, my film rating for Kraven the Hunter is thumbs down. My rating for the film is zero out of 5 stars. So guys, what do you think of Kraven the Hunter in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? How would you rank the Spider-Man films, including the Sony Spider-Man universe movies? How would you rank all the Spider-Man films in your opinion? And how would you rank the Sony Spider-Man universe movies with those movies? You know, and who's your favorite Spider-Man villain? Mine is probably Venom. Close second will be Green Goblin, but Venom. Yeah. But what do you think of Kraven the Hunter as a character? Do you think he needs to be just, he deserves some justice? He should be done right in live action. I think he should, and they should do him right better next time. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next review. Captain America: Brave New World, another Marvel movie coming up soon. 35th film in the MCU, so stay tuned. Bye bye.